objection. Y'all better jam with me to the next song, okay? I'm just saying. It's jam worthy. Oh, yeah. Get it? Blue Badger, we dancing to the theme. Hey, better dance like the Blue Badger, yeah. Okay, that's enough. Hello. The blue, were you guys jamming? I really hope that you were. Britt, thank you so much for the sub. I just spit all over myself. Cute. How are you guys doing tonight? It's Tuesday. I have not streamed in 10 days. That seems to be my norm. About Objection? What are you objecting? You had the TikTok dances out and everything. I ruined it. Yeah, that seems to be my average, about 3 streams a month. That's pretty much all I seem to be able to pull off nowadays, but I'm happy to be here. Maybe eventually we'll finish some games. Who knows? I was just watching your Bug Fables playthrough for when this game's finished, so I know what's going on. Yes, that will be the game that I focus on after this game is finished, because I have not played that game in 3 months. That and Pokemon Omicron will be my focus. Happy to have you. It's great to see you guys. How have you been? Let's switch over. Let me know if you guys can hear the game okay. There's so many chords everywhere. Alright. Maybe one day we'll finish this. You've been great playing Animal Crossing New Horizons right now. Awesome. Okay, February 25th. That's 2 days from now. 12:06. District Court Defendant, Lobby number 2. Sorry, Edgeworth. That seems a little bit loud for me, but I'm feeling great to be here with friends and some very here for some Ace Attorney content. Good. Trying to figure out what to do with my museum area because it's kind of ugly. I put roses around my museum, and then I put a bunch of fossils and stuff on display. Miles! I'm very tired, so I may be lurky, but I'm excited to see if we finish this tonight. That's fine, and if you fall asleep, I won't, you know, I completely understand, because I do that all the time. I also barely remember what happened last time. Okay. Sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, yes I am. I'll come back later. Last time we found out that the killer was Lana. That's right. Oh, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? Hey, Mahala, how are you? It's good to see you. You've got a lot of nerve, pal. Making a detective runner all around while on duty. I can read. And to top it all off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. I take it Lana's having you run errands again? Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here. She asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial. Evidence law? Edgeworth was talking about just the other day. I'm sure you know the 2 rules of evidence law, don't you, Wright? Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. You could at least study some evidence law, really. Or, oh, the killer was Emma. That's what we learned. I forgot. Because she pushed him into the stabby. That's what happened. I just remembered. The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message. Well, it's great that you're here. Hello to you. I hope you've been well. It's totally fine if you lurk, but thank you for coming in and saying hi. A message? She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're gonna need this book. Him. I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read. Securely slipped evidence law into pocket. Into pocket? How small is this book? It just has 2 pages, one for each rule of evidence law. Thanks for shouting out, James. He must have cargo shorts on. With like a big pocket like this? Like book-sized pocket? Is his leg that big? I don't know. I have like a little bit of phlegm, so I apologize if I'm like clearing my throat. Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. I could fit 2 copies. Okay, fair. Rule 1 and Rule 2, written in Comic Sans. The cargoist of shorts. Anything is possible if you believe in the shorts. I would keep, like, cheese and crackers in there. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence. That's where you're wrong, detective. Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in that prosecutor's seat? Despite all these allegations being thrown at me? Mr. Edgeworth. Don't give me ideas. I'm giving you all the ideas. I want to give the ideas. He put the book in his hair. The real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? What else is there left to do? Your credibility's been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skye found out she unwittingly caused a man's death. And now, you're telling me you want to do more? You gotta be kidding me, pal. You're missing the point, detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. Is the game loud enough for you guys? Or am I too loud over the game? This is going well. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. What? And we're going to expose him. No matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. February 25th, 1252, District Court, Courtroom Number 9. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor? The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions. Thank you for the news, Your Honor. Yes, well, normally this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness, but, this isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that Mr. Edgeworth may have, struck a bargain. You think I may have manipulated the witnesses? I didn't say that. It's just, you see, everyone has been talking and... Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution. A solution? That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses. What? But there's never been a case example. And Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. It would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? Unbelievable. Edgeworth has found a way to continue the trial. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal. Cheese and cargo paint! Then it's settled. The, defense may now call forth the next witness. Mr. Wright? You do realize this is your last chance. What? If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over. Oh, no! Who do I want to talk to? Good call, Christy. I feel like this would make a lot more sense if I remembered what happened. Yeah, same. It's been almost a month since I've played this. Welp. My mother just asked me if I was okay. I heard you yell, oh no, are you okay? It's been close to a month, I do believe. 3 weeks. The defense calls. Time's finally come to bring out the real murderer. Okay, well, the real murderer is Damon.
She'll be fine. Everything's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Well, it's fine. She'll be fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
She did not offer a Capri Sun. I don't have a Capri Sun. I just have Aha. This one is strawberry cucumber. I want to rewatch Adventure Time. It's a great show. Well, Miss Budkey is back live. She sure is. How's it going, Spartan? I'm gonna call Damon Gant because I'm 100% sure he's the actual murderer. Damon Gant. The defense calls Damon Gant to the stand. Damon Gant? What does he have to do with anything? As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gant has first-hand knowledge of the crime. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it. Aw, sorry, Spartan. Thank you for the resub, though. Thank you so much.
Shocked face. V Budkey is live. V Budkey is live. V Budkey is live.
Thank you for 35 months of subbing. We are almost at 3 years. That's incredible. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse. He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor? True. Thank you so much, Spartan, for 7 months of subbing. There we go! True. All right, bailiff. Okay, it is food time now, but I will be back. Be safe eating your food. See you soon. I liked that one. I mean, I liked the other one too. Oh, I'm glad. I've been trying to spruce up my alerts a little bit. So. Yes. OV what? When he says bailiff, it makes me think of the Amanda Show. When she was like, bailiff! Bring in the dancing lobsters! Okay, please escort Mr. Gant to the stand. This guy. I'm literally laying in bed thinking about how I'm just going to sleep. I mean, go to sleep early if you like. The other night when Tara was streaming, I went to take a shower. And of course they said be safe, and then I came back and said I actually almost did slip in the shower. Oh no! My fear! Sleep well when you sleep. Dancing lobsters, you say. Bring in the dancing lobsters. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like, you guys have watched that, right? Okay, good. I was in my other shower that has a bathtub and it does— oh no! My fear! I know. I very much enjoyed, like, The Amanda Show, Drake and Josh, iCarly, Victorious. I really liked those shows. CJ said he is afraid of shower mats? What does that mean? Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this? Some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Worthy, are you sure you want to do this? Your name and occupation. Tell him, Miles. Tell him! Like it's a phobia? That's so weird. Like, I wonder if it's like he doesn't like stepping on them? Or like, I guess, like at a hotel, they have the tendency to be very unsanitary, but at home, you know. I don't know. So, you want to play hardball, eh? Please, Mr. Gant. Fine. My name is Damon Gant. I'm the acting chief of police. Now then, Chief Gant, the court requests to hear your testimony. Oh, righto. What's with the grim face? First, let's clear up this SL9 incident. Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made... Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. My brain is trying so hard to keep up. I fell in the shower one time. That's my fear! Falling in the shower and busting my head open and laying in the bathtub unconscious, wet, and bloody. Anyway, back to the case. There are still some things unaccounted for. Oh, like what? Like the role you played in all of this? Son, either you're very brave or very foolish. I know, I'm just like, I'm scared of it, you know? May I interest you in a non-slip shower mat? I mean, I have like no slip stuff in my tub, so it's cool. But like, I still sometimes have a little fear, you know? You're aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Sure. Take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to. What? Is that true? I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify. Yeah, see, I don't want to... No slipping and perishing. Hi, Angel. How's it going? Of course, such an action carries with it certain risks. Don't worry, I'm not here to hinder your trial. He needs us all to pull together and get her a walk-in tub shower so she'll never slip. No, it's okay. How come nobody wants to talk to me until I go live? No, I'd take that back. There are people who want to talk to me when I'm not live, but... I feel like I'm blowing up. Hold up. How are you, Angel? Yes, I'm glad you are still here as well, Britt. Hi, Puffy. How's it going? Just remember. I did. For my birthday, I got an Apple Watch. So I've been enjoying that. If this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you. Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony. I don't talk to V after she goes live, so it evens out. Oh, but I wish that you would. My roommate heard the noise that came in to make sure I wasn't perished. Well, that's good. That's good. Today's my day off. I've been chilling. Nice. As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either. When I went to my office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. Okay, hi, Minnie! That's a really cute Umbreon emote. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. That was the lamest testimony ever. Is that when Doc was arrested? Him? He was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seemed Dark bumped his head. I see, everything seems pretty clear-cut. If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I'd better hit him hard and fast. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sure they appreciate you helping out. Okay. As I recall, a ceremony was held at the police department that day. Yes, that's right. I guess you could say I'm a workaholic. After winning his award, Neil was all fired up, too. That's probably what spooked Dark and made him run away like that. How many cases have you had with us? When is it ever clear-cut? Was the defendant Lana Skye also present in the room? I don't quite remember. At the very least, she wasn't there when Dark ran for it. Apparently The Rock might run for president? Oh, Lord. I really want to play this at some point. I've been enjoying your streams of it. Oh, I'm glad! You can get the trilogy of the first 3 games on Switch as like a bundle pack, which is pretty great. Greetings from England! Greetings, Brandon! How are you? So the 2 of you ran immediately after him, right? That's right, but Dark made it to the elevator first, so Neil and I split up. He went upstairs and I went downstairs. I guess you could say he got lucky. Oh, sorry, Moocher. Glad you're here. I need to blow my nose. I have a little phlegm. Baller. Made it. Nothing but net. Okay. I know. I have a little phlegm. Story of my life. You know, it was just a little. So, but we're good. My mic is very good, I'm sure. I'm sorry for the blowy noises that you heard. What's this about a power outage? Oh, that. The elevator stopped all of a sudden. I got the shock of my life. Well, probably not as shocked as Neil was when that knife went into his heart, though. I had to meet the stream and answer a call, and all I saw was V leave and then come back and do whatever that was. Kobe! No, I had to blow my nose, so I stepped off camera, but you could still hear me blowing through my mic, because that was probably pretty gross. And then I threw it into my trash can, and made a basketball joke. I'm such a b-baller, you know? Oh boy. Okay. That's not funny. It was very oh, thank you. Could you tell us what you saw? It was a shocking sight. Neil and that serial killer were lying in a heap on the floor, all tangled together. Dark was also lying collapsed on the floor? I think that's made my evening, I'm glad. Ball is life or whatever. Angel, I can hear you saying that in my head, and it's just so perfect. Ball is life or whatever. I still want Via's lawyer just for her to ask the judge to wait while she blows her nose. Yes, apparently he hit his head and was knocked out. Next to them were those 2 poor girls, Lana and Emma. Lana was cradling Emma in her arms. Looking back at it now, She must have already known what her sister had done. V has a basketball game. Oh yeah, gonna get those rebounds and 3-pointers and dribble a lot. England comes out of lockdown soon. Cannot wait. That's awesome. Woohoo. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. What does that mean? How can you know that? Because of the victim's body? It had already been moved? Yeah, sports! So that means... I sent you the Vine I was referencing? How did... You sent it to me via Discord?
My name is Troy. I have a basketball game tomorrow. Well, I'm point guard. I got shoe game. Hi, my name is Troy. I have a basketball game tomorrow. Well, I'm a point guard. I got shoe game.
I'm a point guard. I'm glad, Coco. All these sporting technical terms. Point guard. You found the body. I need to do Edgeworth's voice. Okay, focusing on the game now. You found the body near Lana's desk? That's right. I think you said earlier. My name's V. I got a basketball game tomorrow. I'm a point guard. And I don't know what he says at the end. V's sporting really good. I don't know how to sports like her, but I try to sports better. You know, not everybody can sports as good as me. But I would just encourage you to keep trying your best at sportsing. And maybe one day you will sports like I sports. I got shoe game. That's what he says. Okay. It was my suit of armor. They really stabbed the prosecutor. Yes. We're all pro sports players here. It's true. We got shoe game. Anyway. So you're saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office? That's exactly what I'm saying. I actually feel very out of place right now. Why? If V gets a cold, does that mean we get some basketball streams? Streaming is a sport, right? Totally. Wonder if my mom has a basketball game tomorrow. I could totally see her basketballing. I can understand how Lana must have felt, but moving a body and hiding evidence are inexcusable no matter what the circumstances. You played all the sports ball? I wanted to play some sports ball, but I didn't ever do it. I wanted to play volleyball when I was in high school, but I never did. Which sports balls did you play? Was it basketballs or other sports balls? Is that how it really went down? Staring at the witness won't do you any good, Mr. Wright. I played the kicking sports ball and the bat sports ball, but then I stopped when I started band. Soccer, basketball, baseball, softball, volleyball. Wow! Really very sports ball. I like it. 3 hours of snotty tissues and being thrown across the screen and delirious yelling. What's not to love? Oh, I'm so glad you think so. I played volleyball for a few years, but then stopped when people got mean. Aw. I remember a cartoon joke with a commentator asking player what happened. Well, the other team sports better than us. So next time we will try and sports better than them. If you're gonna stare at anything, you'd be better off staring at the court record. Worthy, worthy, always the smooth dogger. But which piece of evidence ties Gant to the forgery? This is bad that I don't remember anything. Lana did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I've got to link Gant to the incident. Okay. Let's read this. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case in trial. So this is why it could fit in his pocket. This is the only page. I want to find out why this is in his... I want to present this. I also want to present that. Hey, Coley! I'm trying to focus because I do not remember what's happening. I had nothing to do with the forgery. This is probably not anything that I am supposed to do, but here we go. If you really had nothing to do with the forgery, then how do you explain this? Wait, did I get it right? Nailed it! What's that? And what's that on it? A handprint? Chief Gant, your explanation, please. I don't know. You tell me, son. Huh? My dear Righto, don't you know the second rule of evidence law? Uh-oh, not this again. Evidence law. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case in trial. Tell me, how is that rag relevant to this trial? It's got Emma's handprint on it. It appears the defense was not prepared. I guess it's too early to use this piece of evidence. Please accept my profound apologies, Chief. Would you mind giving the defense another chance? Well, okay, I'll do it just this once, but only because you asked, Zudgy. Thank you, I assure you the defense is terribly sorry, ha ha ha. Wait, what is... Summer's not here. Oh, Moocher was calling Paige Summer. Sorry I didn't nail you. So what? I wasn't supposed to use that evidence? You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up. Explain yourself. Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this list, for example. That's the list Emma Skye drew her picture on. This was discovered in your desk. Not only that, but a piece of this jar that was sitting in your office was found inside your safe. It was found where? You see, Chief Gant, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation. Did I nail it? Chief Gant, what's the meaning of this? Oh, here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy. So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery. Who, me? Or do you mean you? Me? Why would I have anything to do with that? Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so too. Isn't that right, Righto? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment. What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he'll end up paying to work. Yes, well, in light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene. My, kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Okay, so I did that part well. Let's see, what was it now? A jar fragment and a list? For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I'd participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. When investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol. You do understand that I am the chief of police, right? There will be consequences. Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again. My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today is, well, you know. All right, Udgy, in return, though. I know, that place, right? Huh? What are these guys, telepathic? I'd appreciate it if you'd stop making these ridiculous allegations. I have a much easier way to get rid of this guy rather than fighting him in court. Eyes emoji. Just let me meet him on the street. Brick on, throw hands! Math is hard. Bribe him? Yeah, that'll do it. Yes, you do have a point. You wouldn't have the guts to do something like that. What? I'll have you know, back in the day I once broke into a cattle ranch and tipped... Mr. Wright, what are you saying? You gonna catch these elbows. Whatever I have on me. You can't prove you didn't carry in the evidence, can you? If you have proof to the contrary, you're gonna need it later. Later? What are you talking about? What else? I'm talking about when your fingerprints are found. Yes, if they're found inside my safe, they would prove your investigation was illegal. Ugh, I've never faced anyone as slimy as this guy. What do you mean by that? This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery. If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery, I'm not through speaking yet, Mr. Wright. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered. Hypothetically, what if I stole your kneecaps? Makes it sound like military explosives are a given. She always has those. Anything else just depends on the day. You are suspecting the killing of a man with a slinky? How do you plead? Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation? It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list. For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced. Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient? Right. Did Nick forget about Von Karma? He and Damon are the worst. True. Hi, Fox McCloud. How are you doing? The chief is talking about a possibility so long as you can't rule that out. Your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time. Tell me something I don't know. Come now, Mr. Wright. Think about it. There's no reason I participate in a forgery. How can you look me in the eye and say that? Because I'm innocent. Remember? Who was it that murdered Neil? I'm not sure I care for the word murder here, but in the end, the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Skye. Well, now do you see? Be safe lurking, HS. Really, Chief Gant. At the very least, there's one very large benefit you've reaped from all this. Oh, I wasn't aware. What is this benefit? That would, of course, be the position you have, Chief of Police. Oh. The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive. Oh, that's a good one. This man better use his eyes while he can before I take him. Britt over here just like raging. Huh? Do you really think I'm that incompetent? What do you mean? Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little. The author of this article, the name is Hadley Wickham, if that isn't the most British name I've ever heard. That is a very British name. I like it, though. Hadley Wickham. I think of, like, Wickham from Pride and Prejudice. He does have that fancy necktie. You could use it against it. Help! We're executing Anna on his glasses. Cat Susie says hello to chat. Hello, Cat Susie. Now you're speaking my language. Is that true, Edgeworth? Yes. He was going to be made chief anyway. Ugh! Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. Udgy, would you mind if I change my testimony a little? It would be too easy. Gant has spouted lots of nonsense, Galen, and welcome back. By all means, please do. I said Wickham. W-I-C-K-H-A-M. Rupert Grumblebottom. Susie meows. I think that means hello. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me. Nothing in it for you? Sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lana's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you'd better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. Be tough on crime and tough on people. That's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Ha! Ha! Oh! 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 Merry Christmas! That's a good one, Worthy. Oh, Hadley Wickham's actually Kiwi. Man, I'm ready to put this man in the dirt! Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone out?
I don't know. Who would he have helped out? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to pick. He's a big fat joke. I don't know what to say. Would he have done anything for someone else? Maybe he was friends with Neil. I don't know. If it would benefit you,
I don't know why I'm talking like that. You might decide to assist someone.
Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand.
That's not what I mean. Uh-oh.
Very well, I'll ask.
Who is this person you believe? Gee, the voices are getting weird.
It may have helped forge evidence.
Okay. So, hear me out. Would Chief Gant would Chief Gant have helped Bruce Goodman forge evidence? No, that doesn't make any sense. I think I made a terrible decision. I bet it's the lunch lady, but she was involved in SL9. However, I don't know. She didn't work super closely with Chief Gant. Detective Goodman wasn't even part of this. He's trying to keep Lana looking guilty, Lana and Emma looking guilty, so that he wouldn't have helped them forge evidence. Officer Meekins wasn't involved. I think I made a mistake. But I'm gonna say Bruce Goodman, even though it doesn't really make sense. Righto, my boy. The look on your face is almost enough to motivate even me to help you out. Yeah, no. But what good does forging evidence do to protect Lana if now he's throwing her under the bus? He must have wanted to be able to blackmail the person he helped. I think you're in the right place. Okay. Alright. I believe you were almost there. Okay, let's try again. Phoenix said something about he would have wanted to blackmail somebody later, and I feel like that's what he's doing now to Lana, so perhaps that does make the best sense. Oh, excuse me. Oh, okay. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye, the defendant. They sold all the evidence at a yard sale? I believe it's quite obvious in light of the circumstances. Emma Skye fell victim to an unfortunate series of events. An unfortunate series of events? Series of unfortunate events. Count Olaf, where you at? Who would want to help her more than her own sister Lana? And as for Chief Gant, he would have also had a reason to help Lana if she'd asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit. Self-profit? What do you mean? After the SL9 incident was resolved, Lana Skye was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gant. Olaf's the lunch lady. Watch out! Is it Jim Carrey Count Olaf or Neil Patrick Harris Olaf? It's a combination. Carrey Patrick Harris Olaf. But how would he profit from all of this? He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations. Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets? Oh, wait. You must mean puppet, as in someone forced to do his bidding. Never mind. Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Skye in forging evidence. Judge, we might need to have a talk. I love the judge. Just give him a minute. Your motive, to appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her. Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you something. What? Do you have any proof of this? That I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing? Lana? She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'd testify against Gant. I'm afraid without any proof, all this amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture. Unless that is also what happened in this incident. This incident? Which one would that be? Of course, I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor's been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt. Just what do you mean? What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gant is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement. What? Order, I said! Order! Yeah, there's a lot of threatening that happens in this courtroom I've noticed in this game. Mr. Wright, you can't be serious. Huh? This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder? That's impossible. I should have said impossible. I didn't know what was going to be happening. And the next game also brings a concerning thing into the court. Uh-oh. Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said in easier to understand language. Oh. Sorry. Family-friendly channel. My bot, tries to catch stuff. I'm sure it's fine. A harmless comment. It's too late, Mr. Wright. You're good, though. Sorry, my bot's a little aggressive. There's no turning back for us now. It looks like he's the one who decided to go through with this. Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, is involved in this murder? Good question. Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gant is just a man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell. You might not make it to your car. Are you hearing this? I see. Alright then, show us the evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman. Just remember, it better be good. Okay, I think this is what I tried to do earlier. I think it's this. Wait, what? I don't know how this fits. I can't pick anything. I can't save, I mean. Well, Chief. So long as Mr. Wright is tossing out things regardless of their relevance, mind if I toss something out too, Udgy? This shoe should do nicely. I'll chuck it right at you. You always were quite the joker, weren't you? Oops. Dang it. I know it's hard with all that's gone on during this trial. But try to think back to what happened in the evidence room 4 days ago. Now that he mentions it, we did find something out in yesterday's investigation. Something that proves Gant entered that room. Oh, yeah! Okay. Okay. I see. Okay. I think I know. I think I know what I gotta do. I think I know. It's gotta be this. This is the ID card list. Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday. 777-7777. Sorry, but there's no way you could prove that that's my card number. It's your number. What? How do you know that? The safe in Chief Gant's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code. 7 digits? You don't mean... I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 777-7777. The same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gant, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. Order, order! Chief Gant, what do you have to say? Nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations. And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card. It's for real, Galen. Chief Gant, so you admit it. You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. What about it? I'm chief of police. Whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom, what's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, as I do with the evidence room. Excuse me, Mr. Wright, but did you just admit to opening another person's safe without permission? Created by the chief of police who manipulated the prosecutor's office for years, which, like, how? Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he? Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days. You hadn't seen him in days? Chief Gant, I'm afraid you've just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lana Sky's guilt. No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime... My nose is getting stuffy. He always goes to the bathroom in the evidence locker alone. Oh no! Then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting. Be safe lurking. In that case, Mr. Wright, I'm gonna have to ask you for evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime. Oh Lord, I don't know. Was it this? I think it has to be this. Yeah, I think it's gotta be this. What? No! No, I don't want to have to redo this. Okay, we're saving. Okay, so he had to go meet with Chief Gant. Oops. Why don't you come meet with me tomorrow? Perhaps we could write up your letter of termination. Okay. Goodman went to meet with Chief Gant. How do I know? To be submitted to the chief. The date was 2/21 to be submitted to the chief. How do I know he loves me? Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime. Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it. So Detective Goodman filled out a lost item report. He would have had to give that report to the chief of police. Yet you are in possession of the report, which means you can't be sure if he filed it. He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day. He needed to. I've never played this game before, but I feel like it was Colonel Mustard with the knife in the dining hall. Dang it, Storm! I didn't want any spoilers! Hi. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. How you doing? If you're not following Stormtar Gerbler, he likes to play Dead by Daylight and Pokemon Nuzlocke. So if you like either of those things, you would like my buddy Storm. Thanks for shouting him out. He needed to? Yes, to transfer the evidence out. Oh. Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gant. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room. I accompanied him. There's no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered the room. Yeah, you gotta go follow Stribler. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Let me guess what you're gonna say next. I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman. Exactly. But wait. The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. You're welcome, Storm. Hi, Disney. How's it going? The attorneying is going well. Leave Jake alone. He had what he needed. He had to do what was needed. How's it going, Disney? How's your night? Confession! He could have just lent him his ID card. Yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. But you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body. No! Whoa! What the heck in heck? Hey, Sky! How's it going? It's pretty good. It was actually warm in Ohio. It was warm here today, too. It felt so great. I spent half of my break just sitting, like, outside at the curb in the parking lot where I work, just because it was so nice outside. Chief Gant, you didn't. Pikachu used Thunderbolt. Gant's an electric type. The murder was most likely committed on the spur of the moment. No one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why else? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body. However, the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office's parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department the entire day, you know. And everyone's aware that Lana stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony. Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you're the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal. Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey, you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. I don't think so. Gantion. Chief Gant, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time I thought it was a useless clue just taking up space. What? How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us the evidence. Oh, I don't know. To move the victim's body, Chief Gant used this. Glove? Glove? I don't know. Oh, how did he move the body? What else makes sense? You're not gonna... Okay, let's think. You're not gonna use a trophy. You're not gonna use a knife. You're not gonna use... I mean, you could maybe use the blue badger, but I don't think he would be bloody. You can't use a cell phone. You can't use some pictures. I don't think the shoe would be it, but that's possible. You can't use some testing fluid or a switchblade knife or an ID card record or a fingerprinting kit. You can't move a body with a screwdriver or a lost item report or the floor plans. You could use a glove. You can't stuff them in an evidence locker. You can't use a broken jar. Prints, video, strip of cloth? I don't know what this is. The blue badger's looking suspicious, though. I can give a pretty vague hint that might help if you would like. Maybe he used the cell phone to call a moving van? Maybe. Look at my badge! Yeah, sure. A vague hint might be nice. Because I feel like there's a couple things. He summoned the demented soul of the blue badger to move the corpse. Do 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 do. Okay. Could he have used there are two choices you can choose from. The first doesn't make sense at all first, and the second kind of makes sense. Think more of who moved the body, and less of how it was moved. Could they stuffed it into the suit of armor? I don't think that makes any sense, though. Who moved the body, and less of how it was moved. Edgeworth just said that Lana was at the station, though, so... But she somehow eventually gets to the prosecutor's office. So could she have moved it? I mean, the body was found in Miles' car. So, like, I don't... The body was found in Miles' trunk. Parking stub? Parking stub. It's all about location. Oops, I did it again. I play with your heart. Got lost in the game. I don't remember the words. Oh, baby, baby. Ooh. Okay, hang on. I'm scared. I'm scared to get another hint because I feel like I should figure this out. But I only have 2 chances. So hang on, where the body was found? No. I feel like this one's pretty difficult, so it's okay if you need more help. Yay, Coco! Okay, another vague hint, please. Or if multiple people want to give a vague hint. The body was found in Miles' trunk. because we determined that no body was found at the police station. His car was at the prosecutor's office. In the parking garage. When did it get there? Phoenix's comment about how he thought this evidence was useless is a good clue. So I'm thinking the parking stub. Because it entered the lot at 5:12. Okay, here we go. This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body. See, I almost picked it earlier, but I almost picked it earlier, but I questioned myself. I didn't want to get it wrong. A parking stub? Miles Edgeworth? You mean... The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. The option that makes more sense is the screwdriver? How? How does that make any sense? That's what Chief asked Edgy to take. Oh! So, what happened was Gant stuffed his body into Miles' trunk, then gave Miles a screwdriver and said, hey, take this over to the prosecutor's office right now, go right now, leave right now, drive. And so, okay. This poor man. He asked Miles to move evidence with no relevance to anything to the prosecutor's office on a whim. Yeah. Yup, okay. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car. Dang, so Miles had no idea who was transporting a dead man? Miles' life is a mess of tragedy. I feel terrible for him. He got roped into this crap. You mean I carried the victim's body? Sucks. Precisely so. But wait, even you know, I didn't plan on returning to my office after the ceremony finished that day. But you did return. Tell me why. Ugh. And Miles Edgeworth is what we like to call a plot device. I was asked to go. By Chief Gant, no less. He told me he wanted me to keep a screwdriver at the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the incident, I brought this to the prosecutor's office. So you see, what you really took to the prosecutor's office wasn't the screwdriver, but the victim's body in your trunk. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartbreak. Ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say. Sing it. I want it that way. Okay. Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Yes, unless of course you have another explanation, Chief. I feel like the last one was so difficult because we've been playing this game for a while. We have been playing this game for a while. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to carry evidence from a closed case? There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lana Skye. Order, order, order! What's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations? The picking up of a screwdriver happened like 2 months ago. Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took at the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed into the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite. It's a photo of the body being taken from the trunk. What's going on here? Shenanigans are going on here, sir. Hey, HS. Chief Gant, please say something. I believe your time's up. My time's up. Judge looks to Miles for objection. Miles is having a crisis. It's bedtime. For you? Good night, Judge. Oh, I thought you were saying you were just gonna go to bed. And I was like, oh, okay, well, good night. Sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the district attorney general, the district attorney general after this. We have to get going if we're gonna make it in time for the early bird special. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet. Remember what I told you earlier. A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal. Weapons? Like the right to refuse to testify. I'm invoking that right now. What? That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. The early bird special, take me with you, breakfast daddy. Oh, Lord. Where's Daddy Alejandro when you need it? So you're just gonna run away after all this? Run away? Don't make me laugh, Worthy. I stabbed old Goodman. That's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now. Well, Daddy Alejandro. Breakfast with Daddy Alejandro, the title of my Hindi. I want some pancakes and orange juice. Same, though. You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright. Your Honor? Do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Skye dispose of his body. Do I have any concrete proof? I have to have something, right? I can't let him just squirm his way out of this. I've got to keep the pressure on. Yes, Your Honor, I do have such evidence. Then please hurry up and present it. Just remember, it better prove Chief Gant murdered Detective Goodman beyond a shadow of a doubt. Oh no! Is it the cloth? That doesn't make any sense because it has Skye's prints on it. But Lana did call Emma on the phone with the muffler. Remember? Remember that part? See, okay, word muffler was overheard during a call made to Emma at 5:18. So would Lana have called Emma freaking out and been like, I need your help, I can't carry a body. And Emma went over there and helped and pretended this whole time like she didn't know what was happening, but maybe she was helping? Oh no, that would be spicy. I don't know. Okay, chat, do I have what I need? No. I don't have what I need. I thought we were at the end of the game. Crap! Crap! I picked nothing! Shoot. Can I go back? I thought this was the end, yeah. Some evidence is hidden behind evidence law. What do you think, Your Honor? Oh, man. I just wasted a perfectly good chance. I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gant is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright. Your Honor? No, I don't have any proof. I didn't want him to leave. No use showing evidence I'm not even sure of myself. He's Australian now, yeah. Thank you, Angel. Okay. See, Edgy? In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief. What? I'm doing my best, okay? Why do I have to get penalized when this guy is being a difficult liar? What? I don't gamble unless the stakes are high. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. That is some BS, you're right. Okay, Udgy, I'll leave the rest to you. What is that emote, Coley? Me when I'm playing Phasma and the ghost won't give me the last. I was doing my best. I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law enforcement agency. Shouldn't it be incredibly obvious to literally everyone here that he's the killer? Why is it my fault that he's being difficult? IDK, it looked good. It's funny. I don't know what it is, but it's weird. Is it? I don't know what it is, but it's funny. Lava. Thank you, Miles. Lady Luck, Maybe we should have a word with her. Mr. Edgeworth, what do you mean? There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. We haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony. A lady who knows the truth. Another witness? In the absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method is proof of testimony. But Chief Gant has invoked his right to refuse to testify. There's still someone else. One more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room. Lana! 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 Let's go! Let's go! Tell us the truth. It's like Kappa mixed with pink gloves? Mr. Edgeworth, who's this person? Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today. Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist? She may not be willing to tell the truth, but we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth Lana Skye. The defendant? Miss Lana Skye? She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 on February 21st. Her task to dispose of the victim's body in accordance with a certain someone's orders. Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution has no objection, Your Honor. Very well, the court will now take its final recess for the day. This is the longest case ever. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now in Hold on. Huh? Chief Gant, I thought you were going to eat. Listen good, Lana. He's talking to Lana. Well, I figured that. Thanks, Phoenix. I don't think you need me to tell you this, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claim, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder. This isn't good. Final recess, I call swings! Of course, you'd never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alright then, I've got a lunch date to meet. Who would want to have lunch with him? Barf. Okay, if there aren't any further objections. Look! More threatening! Threatening right in front of everyone. Dude, blackmail in the courtroom! This man has the nerve to threaten someone in the middle. The audacity! Bring me banana pancakes, I'll pay you back. That's it, I'm stealing bone marrow. Someone trying to lose weight by puking. Yeah, that's who's having lunch with him. Okay. February 25th, 2:04 p.m. That whole thing only took an hour? District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. Looks like we managed to stay in the game. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That chief, he's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe. I'm not a detective anymore. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Ah, don't worry, I already decided where to work now. At your office. At my office, yay! Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. Could he mean Maya? Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Chief Gant's done it again. Two types of people. People angry with Gant and people who want him to be their rank. Gumshoe and Co. How is it he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said? But Chief, this is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Work at my office, I could always use a stone-shouldered Adonis around the... Did you just call Gumshoe a stone-shouldered Adonis? We must adopt Gumshoe. I like Gumshoe. He's probably my favorite character. He's a great Risks. What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean he forfeits his right to say anything, too? Oh, hi. Gumshoe, stone-shouldered Adonis. Emma, are you okay? Yeah, when I came to, I was in a medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah. Now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man, and she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself deep inside, to force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act. Final act for real? Or there's still like multiple testimonies after that? Emma, why don't you wait? No, I'm going with you. I want to be there when Lana tells the truth. Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. Young girl wondering about if she murdered someone. Upbeat music. The final act, part 1. It's like Endgame, part 1. I need to blow my nose again. I don't know why I'm getting a little stuffy. I feel fine, I'm just a little stuffy. I'm gonna mute my mic this time. And swish! Ayo! Got that b-ball. I was practicing for my game tomorrow. I get an itchy nose when I do read streams, and I don't know why that is. But my nose will get, like, warm and, like, really itchy, and I, like, always want to scratch it. Thank you. My nose streams. Ew. I got so many basket goals. Okay, let's do this. February 25th, 2:21 p.m., District Court, courtroom number 9. Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand? How much time do you think I need to finish this game? I've been going for an hour and 32 minutes. I do not want to go more than another hour maximum. Do I need more time than that? If so, I'm gonna call it here if I need more than an hour to make it to the end of the game. I don't know if I want to hazard a guess. Okay. It's crazy right now. Oscar, what you talking about? But hello! My estimations on how long this case would have taken has been way off. I don't think you need a whole hour. Alright, let's just press on. Let's just press on, see how far we get in an hour, and then if we have to call it and do like a 10-minute stream next time, then we'll do it. This is the last session of court, but with in-game stuff, I don't know how long it would take. Okay. Alright, let's just press. Let's just focus and press. Let's go. Miss Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you are aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. How you doing, Oscar? It's good to see you. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course. The truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Shut up, Squirt. I'm just kidding. Get that trial sports ball in the hoop goal! Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Gant. He's my pancake daddy? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding! I didn't say that! Everything hinges on your testimony. Okay. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Just got home from mini grocery shopping. What about you guys? I'm good. Doing good. I hope you got some good groceries. Gant and the fabrication. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. Man, I want pancakes now, same. Is that grocery shopping while playing mini golf? That'd be fun. I'm very glad that we have established that Gant is a pancake daddy. Not for me, for Lana, obviously. I don't like him at all. He makes me creeped out. He's probably going to Pancake City, probably. My proudest moment in stream chat's coining Pancake Daddy. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Are you sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana! If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. But what if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. I'm sorry, Coco. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Okay. How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years. Detective Gant and Detective Skye were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases. She must have been good coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why... But think about it, Miss Skye. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. Look me in the eyes and tell me that, Lana. And... Did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. Okay, be safe grabbing food. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lana. So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago. You say you did this all by yourself. Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken Prosecutor Award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark? Something like that. If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. All just to protect me. So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. Yes. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, then moved the body? Daddy Alejandro will get you crepes, though. What'd you get to eat? And then you move the body. But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of the others. When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Skye moved the body? The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. Pieces of the jar, you mean? Yes, that wretched jar Mr. Wright showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, it felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So, when you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle. I see. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. Oh, thanks. I shall save. feeling there's more to it than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. I gotta get Lana to talk more. Excuse me. If you want a Pop-Tart. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence. Oh yeah, I did, and it made me very upset. We going on an adventure. She's lying. She did it so that I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying. Okay. This, I think I did like 2 or 3 hours of grinding in Pokemon Omicron, and then closed the game without saving and lost all of that grind progress. Cinnamon! I love Cinnamon! Pop-Tarts! Okay, alright. It was a very yikes. I was very upset. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what to present. I think this has got to be something important. We already learned about this. Okay, so she said the knife used was the knife from the trophy. But then she said that this was Dark's knife. I did press her on this. Should I press her again and pay attention more? This was what was added, and I pressed her on this too. But I'm gonna press her again. Oh, maybe I didn't. Oh, okay, you planted and then you moved the body, but why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, you've always had a good head on your shoulders. I am going to ask her about this. Oh, rip Pop-Tart. Why did you do that? Come now, Mr. Wright. Even you should be able to figure it out. Okay. I knew the tip of the weapon found buried in his body would be all the proof we needed. According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall's broken knife was the murder weapon, right? Yes, and leaving it at that might point the blame away from Dark. I felt the most effective way to get him convicted would be by having the tip of his knife found inside the victim's body. So you buried it inside the victim's stab wound? Yes, because I hated Dark for what he did. Yeah, she got rid of this statement about the jar and replaced it with that. That's why I feel confused, because I don't know which one I'm... I need help. I don't know if I'm just getting dumb or impatient, but I really don't understand what to use and what to use it on. Get a closer look at the jar. Well, I know that the jar says Emma on it after we put it back together. Okay. So the jar one is the one I need. Okay. Yeah, I am kind of small-brained tonight. Okay. Okay. The last session was 3 weeks ago. Miss Skye, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene when Neil Marshall was murdered? This case has literally gone on for months, so that's not... It's not just a seems to. If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been useless. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. Contradiction? In my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, It must not yet have been broken before he died. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. Order, order! Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well, the witness may now continue her testimony. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. You mean you were the one who wiped away this message in blood? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. So the jar was already broken. It's a miracle that this thing hadn't broken earlier. It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case. But not as feeble as the judge's judgment. You're an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally, I would have. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust. Well, that helps my case. Lana, you'd do that for me? It seems you two might make up yet. Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was. If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came. This is rather shocking. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? Lana? I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry my bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece. So you illegally rearranged the crime scene? Yes. I don't have any excuse for my actions. I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I've treated you so badly all this time. It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we've gotten to the bottom of this incident. No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office. More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony. Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. I have. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. There is. Oh, Lord. So, hang on a sec. Because she said it was dark in the room, I didn't have time to check it out. But then, like 2 sentences later, she says she had a light. So which is it? It was dark in the room, Ayo. Cool. Glad you figured it out, Nick. Care to share with the class? Exactly. Oh, hang on. She said she was sure she got them all, but we found a fragment in the safe. So can I present the same evidence twice? Because we found the final fragment in the safe. Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. Every time you use my sip emote, Britt, I'm gonna take that as I'm thinking the right thing. In the Chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. Wow, Judge, it's almost like people can lie or misremember things. Dance a break. That very well may be. That may... Wow, I can read. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. How can you believe that? Speaking of dentures, I had my dentist appointment. I don't have dentures. I feel like, weird segue, I had a dentist appointment this morning. And I got healthy mouth! Okay. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant at the time he was looking for Doc downstairs. Besides, even if he was there first, why would he break the jar? The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? No. Why is the judge in Chief Gant's pocket too? Is Chief Gant puppeting everybody? Wait, I'm not the one on trail here. There's a few typos, like la and trail. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication. Why would Chief Gant do that? Gant may also be Judge's pancake daddy. In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma. And here is the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the Chief's puppet. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the Chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies, all these typos, to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client. I guess you do seem like the type who likes to twist the truth. Wait a minute. What if... We're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap. Something wrong, Mr. Wright. Lana, maybe right after all. What do you mean, Wright? So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright? The late game of this case was not proofread. Yeah. Miss Skye, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Skye, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. All right, the witness may testify once more for the final time. Final time, let's go. Actual crime scene. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor's sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if all it really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor sword? You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright, she really does have faith in you. Very well, Mr. Wright, please present the picture. I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. There's a picture here. Oh my. Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this. That's because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I rearranged the scene. Mr. Wright? That piece cut out from his vest, could that be? The cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe. What's this? It's a handprint. That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whosever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. I didn't do that. Come now, Edgy. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gant? What, now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. Objection. You do not allow... I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined testimony. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. This must be the risk the judge was talking about. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. Ah, so what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, do you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't. But someone does. Someone? So then, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is this true, Mr. Wright? Exactly, Coley. If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries. Thank you. Okay. What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? Looks like part of it's been cut off for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? What? That means you, the chief of police, concealing evidence? This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. No, you numpty! It's because of evidence law. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. So you really were manipulating her? I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Skye. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room, my hair going crazy over her. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dart convicted. When we rearranged the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. I did this before Lana arrived at the scene. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe? But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance? They should hold him and condemn him, make him leave. Yeah, and put him right into jails. I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? Then we saw the body and she moved the body and we planted the knife on the body, and did I mention the body? Who do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces. But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on the jar too? Huh, huh, oh. Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean the piece of cloth? That stone-shouldered Adonis body. I mean the no, that's Gumshoe. Gumshoe's the stone-shouldered Adonis. Come on, Righto. Cough it up already. I know you have it. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it then, Chief Gant? That you were hiding the cloth that you cut off the victim's vest in your safe? Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. I know, I was distracted. Oh, okay. By the stone-shouldered Adonis? Understandable. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it then before it was too late. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. I don't know. What? They know I have the evidence, okay? They know I have it. Don't mess up, no pressure. Cool, thanks. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. I will say that now I know you're quite close. Okay, the evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Hi, Tara, thank you. Whoever it was, they must have had a really oily hand. It keeps giving me the sip, which means I'm on to something. It's gotta be the oily hand. But I don't know how to prove about the oily hand, you know what I mean? Probably your attorney's badge. I have choices. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Sip, sippity sip. Oh yes, at last you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that immediately be sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather, there must have been a strong impact for it to have been left so clearly. You mean it could not have been forged? It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. I'm all out of drink. Sorry. Scoopity poop. My sister's wedding song. Just kidding, it wasn't. Ho ho ho. You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Wright-o had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? Mr. Wright, do you really know? Ho ho ho, Santa Pancake Daddy. Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well. I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person whom these fingerprints belong to are... slings evidence law book across the room and smacks Gant in the face. We fingerprinted it and said it was Emma's, though. Sip. I thought you were all out of drink. Emma. Emma Sky. What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Heads up! After it hits him in the face. I got another one. Oh, okay. Why didn't you tell me? Oh, ha, ha, ha. You're really something, Wright-o. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. How could you? You monster! Miss Sky? You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha, but I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer. The evidence he had already concealed? Exactly. Let me repeat myself. Evidence law, you stupid jerk. Yay, 8 hours of more trail. Now my badge! Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Hello, whoever, how are you? Good to see ya. Apparently everyone's been ignoring Phoenix's case history, yeah. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor near Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed near Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Sky, wasn't it? I'm gonna dunk on this loser at my basketball game. Have you guys seen the video? DJ Froggy Fresh, I think is his name, and this guy sings, "Why is James crying? 'Cause he just got dunked on. I ain't even lying, 'cause he just got dunked on." Have you seen that video? Please tell me the basket's a trash can. He also has another one, another song where he sings about he's dated every girl in the world or something. It's so stupid. Anyway, I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool blabbing about? I'm talking about a contradiction, one that proves who the real killer is. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict? Heck yeah, I'm gonna put him in the garbage. Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. Shoot. True, Terror. The piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. I don't know who was wearing gloves. And what could have made an oily print? You were sipping. So I'm gonna go with Lana's picture. Sipper-on did doodly. And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. What a pristine handprint. Oh! You right! I didn't understand what Riddy was saying, but the cloth, there's no blood on the cloth at all. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes, his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs no doubt were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth. Wait, there's no blood on it. Ugh! Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword. No, this is nonsense! Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Sky, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword? Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. Then he broke the jar on purpose to leave behind a clue and make Lana believe her sister did it. This dingus right here, Your Honor. Get him! We cross-examined parrots too. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest. Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. No! Hey, yo! It's finished. No. No. That was close, Righto. You almost had me. Will this ever end? You'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. Yeah, looking like Zeus when Angel chooses Poseidon over him in the choice rooms. Order! What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, IG. Earlier, old Righto here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Righto? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. That's not fair. Oh. Did you actually think you could best me in court? Looks like the last laugh's on you, son. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth. True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright. It seems at last. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposely and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? I did not. Certainly. I refused to present evidence at one point. Aha, so the evidence is illegal. No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then, it's that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Edgy, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't let him. There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well, let us settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. Got him! Got him! Got him! This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Evidence law! Got him! Got him! Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. Nothing like slapping a man with a textbook. Evidence law! Does Dionysus do vodka, though, or just wine? I'm sure he'll make an exception for you. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule number 2, unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case in trial. And here is the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance. To be honest, this is my favorite thing to do in real life when I'm in an argument. I like letting people just make stuff up and then being like, well, actually, and then slap them with the facts. Between the cloth and the SL9 incident, what kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Sorry, but can you recall, when was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant.
With the spaghetti.
That's right. I now imagine Britt pulling out some papers and tapping against them like Nick does. Yeah. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh, yes. No! It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer, and there's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant. The killer was you. my gosh. Vietnam. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department, trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Star, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman. I'm not broken, but Damon Gant is broken. Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you gotta help me. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. Damon Gant, more like Demon Gant, am I right? You right! Gant, yeah, stop. Gant is skipping. Yeah, yeah. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. For a second, I looked up at the sound of my name, then realized they were talking about the inferior angel. They were. Good job, Jake. Reviews notes. You? Right. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden, he had to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. He told me to open up the evidence room and take it out. It's not too late. I'll hand this to Marshall. Oh, wrong person. It's not too late. I'll hand this to Marshall. Well, to be honest, I was a little panicked too. I had a bad feeling about it, but never knew it would come to this. That's when I saw it. That accursed knife. Couldn't just pull it out. It would only increase the amount of blood and you couldn't finish what you started. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I was wiping it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my mistake. Detective Gumshoe's bloody handprint. It used to be known as the crime computer. But everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Thank goodness Christy Bay wasn't a criminal. Then you put the body in my car? I'm sorry, we couldn't think of any other way to move the body. We broke the trunk, but what's the big deal? You pull down a lot more than us detectives. Ugh. Whoa, stabbing people makes them bleed? What does this have to do with anything? You're horrible. How could you get Miss Sky involved in all of this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker? I feel bad for having to do it. I couldn't sit around and pick and choose what to take. Well, you left the jar fragment in the gloves. Switching from solving them to committing them, yeah. Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, what are you doing in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. One day you'll understand. I can do the voices, right? If you want to take them on alone, you'll figure out what's needed. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, gee. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. He is his pancake daddy! Sorry, old friend. Gross! I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator and an example to others on the force. Oh, my pancakes. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Udgy. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Oh, Lord, no. Now you have Righto here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. You see, if I listen carefully, I can hear it right now. The sound of a new beginning. Excuse me. Burped a little bit. I'm starting to get those tired eyes where like everything just goes like shadowy under my eyes. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years. From the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today. So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My, what high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you just might make it to the top. A smile. A smile from Lana Sky. We have achieved great things. Does that mean there are pancakes up for grabs? The eyes I always have. No, nuh-uh. You have part-time model eyes. A smile swoon. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Sky. And to you, too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing. Not such a booty hole now, is she? Not now, no. Her booty holeness was justified. She went through a lot. Liar. Hi, Socks. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. She's now better to me than Miles, but that's not saying much. I like Miles. He did good things in this trial. I like Miles. I'm a Miles fan. I'm just not a Miles stan, maybe? I don't know. When does the line, when do you cross the line? I don't know. Like to hate Miles, okay, alright. Stop it, I only did my job. Shh. Miles is not Pancake Daddy. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky. Yes, Your Honor. You are innocent of murder, however. Although, Gumshoe's still my favorite character. I love Gumshoe, he's awesome. Although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. Miles does not bring warmth. A trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. This is true, Miles does not bring warmth. As Thanos does. Sees my post, shakes head, nope. Yeah, I was like, no. I'll read it. She got to a booty hole nother level. Oh. I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains. Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Amen, Judge. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky. Praise the Lord for butts. To bring this whole game full circle. That is all. The court is adjourned. Whew. February 25th, 5:03 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 2. At long last, it's finally over. Emma? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit.
No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended.
I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You've done well.
You know, I did my best too, but Lana didn't say a single word to me.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run all around while on duty? And to top it all off, you call me here, I seen happier people at funerals. You said this to me already. Lighten up, pals, I'm only kidding. Here comes those stone shoulders. The Adonis.
Oh, are you here because of my sister again?
Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal.
Me?
That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone.
Lana!
Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't.
Emma,
I owe you an apology. Oh, I hope we get Gumshoe in our office. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day 2 years ago was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis, I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis, I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you didn't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh, Emma. Emma. Yay, happy sisters together. Hugs! No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing, we can find the way back to our path. And once we've found our path, we can move on from our past mistakes toward a brighter future. At least, that's what I felt looking at those two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe. Me? This image makes me so happy, yeah. Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. Angry face. Where was he hiding? Just came to say, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right, well, I'll be going now. Okay, bye. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me.
Congratulations.
Exactly. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't change my own mistakes.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me. We're the same. One day you'll understand. If you want to take them on, alone, you'll figure out what's needed.
Just forget it.
Exactly. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime alone, one needs a weapon. It's scary, but I've been thinking the same thing for quite some time now. Someone get Miles a therapist, honestly. But Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor.
Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime alone, one needs a weapon. That may be right, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright, and because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright?
Huh, what? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz?
Come on, Mr. Wright, show him what Lana's talking about.
Evidence? That neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own? I thought this was over! Was it this? Thank you, Britt.
That's the picture I drew.
Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list and I had the other. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture.
That didn't just happen by chance, Edgeworth.
Look at his face! Time for me to go.
Mr. Edgeworth.
If you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. Miles, you have a friend! Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember, what happened in this trial can either make or break you as a prosecutor. In the end, it's up to you. I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Farewell.
Friend, bah! I'd better be getting back too. Okay, I'll come visit you. It seems we both still have a lot to learn. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation? It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis, I will!
Yeah, Miles, come along with Gumshoe, just work in our office, that would be awesome. And so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Well, they'll have slumber parties, talk about boys. Who? Miles and Gumshoe and Nick? Faith that their lives have only just begun. Yeah! And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. I'd play that game. Well, don't go tricking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for like 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, you see, Mr. Wright here's the one who'll be footing the bill. Huh? Huh? What, you think I could afford that with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? 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 Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Why is it? I suddenly feel like I want to scream. Since we're all here, why don't we go together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go! Objection! I finally beat this game! It only took, what, 8 months? 9 months? I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to take care of Emma. She's a coroner. I think Emma will be pleased. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then, I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. I loved this game. I'm gonna play all of them because I love this so much. Yikes! I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If we penalized you anymore, it'd be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. It just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easy. Yeah, by the time I'm 40, I'll finish all the games, honestly, though. And I want to start playing Layton games on stream, too. It's because I want to eventually get to that crossover, you know?
My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy! Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard! My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today. I'll show him, though! Someday I'm gonna make detective! Yes, sir! Then I'll be just like that Dick Gumshoe!
Speaking of playing all of them, I know it probably won't be for a while, but I recommend the HD trilogy for the next game specifically. I don't have games 2 and 3 on the DS, so I have bought the trilogy on my Switch. So I'll be playing games 2 and 3 from the Switch. There's a typo in the original that really kills the mood of the scene it's in. Oh. I'd be scared if Meekins was a detective. Blue Badger. Oh, yeah. What is it? Can't you see I'm having me a showdown with a steak lunch partner? Miss Star managed to sneak this into me. She's seeing one of the guards, it seems. Well, cowboy, looks like you did it. You even gave Bambina back a smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get their water? What are you talking about? Yeah, this credit song is a groove. I'm just trying to make it through the credits, you know?
Looks like we won't be seeing each other for a while.
Oh, Billy's the cactus, that's it.
As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on something about the Wright meal. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards.
Yeah, I'm playing this one on DS, so I have the ability to play DS games. I just would need to find a copy. Thank you, Riddy.
I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left. Anyway, he said he's been doing something or other for, how many years? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I'd better be... Huh? Oh no, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, gotta go.
It's on mobile? Interesting. Oh, maybe I'll get it on the 3DS eShop. That might work. Nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air. Oh, that was not a scream, that was a sigh. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing Nick and his objections. Still, I can't go back and tell him a full-fledged spirit medium. Maya, afternoon training's about to begin. Coming! Well, see you around, Nick. Does Maya come back? Actually, don't tell me that. That's a spoiler. I hope Maya comes back. Dun, 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 bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum. Mr. Edgeworth? Oh. Ah, Mr. Edgeworth. I brought you your tea. What's going on? I want a bellboy to bring me tea. Not a spoiler. Maya comes back as a ninja right before we enter the third Ninja War arc. And now the sequel hook. Okay, that was what that was. Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book. Aww. My heart. Sisters. Bravo, Capcom. Bravo. Bravo. Guys, that was really good. I really enjoyed it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hang on, let me look. What did I do? It's there. Try it again. What the actual heck? Will it do it if I do it? Nope, it's broken. I'm gonna have to fix that. I don't know why. What the heck? Where are all my sound effects? I don't know what's going on. It's not doing it for me either though. Yeah, all my sound effects are broken. I don't know why. You're not simply a ghost. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why my things are not working. Yeah, I don't know. And it won't let me chat. It won't let me type into my chat either in the chat bot. There must be something wrong with the chat bot. I haunt you, but all I do is cry. Oh. Well, yeah, none of my, I don't know what's going on with my sound effects. That's lame. I'm sorry. Chatbot might be frozen. It's true. I think that bot's just broked. Well, anyway, thank you guys so much for coming along with me on this journey. And thank you, Britt, so much for buying this game for me like 2 years ago for my birthday, I think. And me getting to it just now. It was fantastic. It has opened my eyes to a series that I absolutely love now. And do plan to play all of them. Game was too good. Hey, you okay? Yeah. You're welcome so much for stream. I went way longer than I thought. I went over 3 hours, which I like never do. But I know CJ will be streaming at some point tonight. I may miss it because I may be going to bed here very soon. Good night to everybody. Oh snap, I can't wait to get a blue badger for you. Just so you guys know, I will not be streaming again until Saturday. It is a secret surprise stream, but it's gonna be a fun one, so tune in on Saturday. You're welcome for the stream. Take care, everybody. Much love to you guys. I hope you have a great rest of the week. Thank you again for hanging out with me today, and I hope everybody stays safe and healthy and well, and I will see you all soon.